Hello and welcome to the Company Chics conversation. My name is Lakeisha Copeland, and I'm so excited to have you all here with us today. And today's confession is your tongue is the pen of a ready writer. And today's guest is Miss Francisca. Are you
Hi.
here with us today?
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see here. I am currently a mom of two boys. That'll always be true, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm also the CEO and founder of my company, Francisca Consulting and Counseling. And I help individuals, whether it be professionals in business or individuals navigating their personal lives, truly to unlock their confidence in business and life. And I've been around the block for almost 20 years doing this great work. And it's such an honor to be a part of that transformation process. And as of late, I've really honed in on helping the mental health space by offering support and training and education to the mental health professionals, particularly rather than only focusing on therapy clients, because I do offer counseling. So yeah, that's the quick and dirty, I guess you could say.
That sounds awesome. So tell me, how do you miss your confidence? How do you help women unlock their confidence?
You know, over the course of time of my career, being in the mental health space is actually my second career. And before this, I was in the hospitality space of restaurant and human resources and training and development. And blending these two facets, what I've learned is I have a style, and I've created a model called the confidence model, the three O's to success. And it pretty much integrates the tenets of neuroscience, of how our brains and bodies work, as well as mindfulness, and really looking at approaches to challenge what our thoughts might be in the moment, knowing that there's a track record that we're really successful. And so this is part of the human experience, like the imposter syndrome or having self-doubt. And depending on what a person is wanting to focus on, the entire process will come to a point in recovery, whether it's I want to recover my self-esteem, I want to recover from addiction, I want to recover from a divorce, I want to, break through my self-doubt in business. All of these focal points come to a certain stop, and that is, can I trust myself? And so the way I really work with folks to unlock confidence, well, when you look at the word confidere, which is the Latin phrase of confidence, it means to trust oneself. And so
Um,
that's truly the heart of the matter. How do you trust yourself? It's not, I know how to do this, that, or the other. It's, I have belief and I have trust in my belief that I will find my way. And when people reorganize and repattern narratives from childhood, or just because they didn't quite get the numbers they wanted in that business endeavor, we all fall into the bucket of self-doubt. And so I help people embody and implement concrete practices or exercises that truly gets them to retrust themselves and truly believe that they will find their way. It's not about knocking the ball out of the park every time, but it's the belief that you'll find your way to do it again, or for the first time, or whatever the situation might be. And that's just what I found over close to 20 years of being a therapist and a mental health consultant, that it's the human experience. We could be amazing at you name it, and we will still find ourselves second guessing, or when something doesn't go the way we intend, we can fall into that bucket of self-doubt. So really helping people challenge their viewpoint to realize that that one instance of I didn't get it all the way I wanted is not the full picture. And to really, remind folks that, yeah, that's a part of the big picture, but it's not the whole picture. And that one part doesn't define an individual. And so it's just, it's almost like a boot camp approach to working different muscles. When it comes to confidence, it actually is like a muscle. You can tone it intentionally, or you can just let it go flabby if you don't. So that's the beauty. A lot of folks don't realize that it's not, like a fixed trait, like the color of your eyes. It's something
Yeah.
that you actively can change when you are actively paying attention and doing the exercises that you get to do, like you go to the gym to tone your body and to keep it fluid and in motion. So that's the beauty about confidence, is that you can actively work on it and actually get results, just like you would if you were to go to the gym and work out. So I've really have had the honor of supporting people get to that place of like, I don't need to know everything, but I do have belief in myself. I trust that I will find my way. And so that's just, you know, my approach to helping people unlock their confidence.
That's so neat. I like how you related to going to the gym. We go to the gym to tone our muscles, to help us be fit and lose weight. And that's the same thing about confidence. Like that's something that we have to work on daily.
Yeah. And that to me just makes me that there's a little, it's a double-edged sword here, in the sense that, yay, I get to work on it, but then the other flip is, oh, I didn't work on it, and so no wonder I'm going to beat myself up with that narrative of like, I'm not good enough, or I'm, whatever, silly me, I'm doing my old thing again. Like, that inner critic can really take a hold of our internal thoughts. And it's great that we've got the power to change it, but then it's also our responsibility
Mm.
when, we're not. And that can be hard sometimes. It's, another approach that I work with is truly about empowerment, and what that actually means of one's ability to take full ownership of their power, which then second in command is responsibility. With power comes great responsibility. And when a person is empowered, um, they need to be responsible for that empowerment. And it's kind of tough when we find ourselves in sticky points to go look in the mirror and say, you didn't make it to the gym this week. No wonder you're a little stiff, right? No wonder you're
Yeah.
sore again, or whatnot. So there is a little bit of a double-edged sword with this concept of, you know, um, I'm the one who gets to unlock my confidence. And if I'm not there, then, oh, that's on me. And that can be a hard pill to swallow sometimes when we've got so many things on our plate and we're getting pulled in so many different directions. And, perfection doesn't exist. What I say is that practice makes for progress, not perfection. So,
Wow.
clarity comes from engagement, competence comes from practice, and confidence is the sum of both. So, when we get stuck in our thoughts, truly, we're not really engaging the situation. We need to materialize that energy, the thinking that we do. Because when we get stuck on that merry-go-round of thinking and thinking and thinking, we end up stalling. And that becomes a little painful because we know that we've got the capacity, we've got the skill set, the motivation, we're feeling inspired. And sometimes when we get stuck in that thinking, we that's the gateway to imposter syndrome, if you will. So grab a pen. If you get stuck in your thought, just write it down, and you're actually moving the needle in the right direction to truly unlock confidence. And really, I'll get a little corny here, but you truly do get to take one foot in front of the other, and you get closer and closer to making those dreams a reality.
Yeah, because a lot of times people look at others and become inspired, but they doubt that they can do it themselves. But it's all about what you believe in, believing in yourself, and then actually doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, when it comes to, I mean, I have to admit, I'm a little biased. I'm a consultant, right? It's what I do for my profession. But there is something to say about, you know, anybody can go to Google and get the information that they're looking for. Meaning, how do I create social media content? How do I, what are the best exercises to build a six pack for my abs? You can go to YouTube, you can go to Google or whatever search engine that you're into, and you can get that information. But what truly creates a collaborative experience is working with somebody to highlight and kind of offer the blind spot with a very kind and caring and compassionate delivery, whereby one's held accountable, right? I mean, you see it in the mental health space. Anyone can read a self-help book, and yet working with a therapist, it just really gels everything, in a more holistic approach. So when we're inspired, my top thing to recommend is work with somebody, work with a coach, work with a consultant or a therapist, or have an accountability partner, so that there's a joint effort. We thrive in a group setting versus being isolated with our own thoughts and our efforts. So anybody who is thinking, right now's the time, I'm ready, or definitely I'm willing to put in the
Yeah.
work, then find somebody to work with, because it definitely supports the process. And what ends up happening is that self-doubt of, is this good enough? That doesn't really come into play, because you're going to be given feedback, or hey, like, can you look at this bio that I wrote? What do you think? In human growth and development, we actually need to be seen and heard and felt. When you think of little toddlers, they get to a place in life, young kids, where they're like, Mom, look at me, look at me. Whoa,
Yeah.
I'm taking one step up the ladder, and then, Mom, the next step, and I go down the slide, and they're like, look at me, look at me. And when we get that, when we actually have somebody who is witnessing our process, that self-doubt is kept in check, because it's like, good job, little Johnny, you did it, we're so proud of you. And then that little boy internalizes the effort, and they attach effort with that positive feeling of feeling proud, and the I can do it approach. And lots of folks, people don't realize that even as adults, we still need that, especially when
Yeah.
we're starting something new, because it triggers the novice, that little kid in us. And when we're trying something new, having that external validating, acknowledging, compassionate consultant or coach, it fills us from the inside out. And we do walk away with, nah, this is good enough. I've gotten feedback. I've worked out the edges. I'm feeling pretty good. I feel confident with the decision, with what I'm about to put out, with what I'm about to launch with, whatever it might be. And that's why, if anybody's really wanting to work these edges, definitely find your tribe, create that community, because we are social mammals, and we actually thrive and learn best in relationship, not in isolation.
I think that's so true. You just remind me, you know how like you go to an empowerment event or some conference where you get empowered, but what do you do when you leave that setting? Like, what do you do?
Totally. Yeah, it's fascinating, like, you get into that heightened, it's almost as if like your windows were just cleaning your house, so you can totally see so clearly, and you've got the energy, and it's like, woohoo. And then you're right, and then it's like, now what? So what's now? What now? It's an ongoing joke that I have with clients is that, this little thing here called a pen or pencil is probably one of the most powerful tools that anybody can engage with, because it offers you that opportunity to materialize that energy that we have within us with inspiration and motivation, and put it in a place where we can actually go back and look at it and give ourselves the feedback that we are looking for. And believe it or not, we all know what we need to know. Unless you're like learning how to, cook something new, of course you're going to follow a recipe, right? But
Yeah.
we have all of our answers. And if the what now, like what next, it's like, if you don't have someone to work with, an accountability partner or a professional consultant or coach, then pull out the best next tool, and that is your pen. Because writing your ideas down and stepping away and going back and reviewing, you actually are going to provide yourself that your own feedback. So you are creating a feedback loop. And through that experience, through engagement, you gain clarity. And lots of times, self-doubt, imposter syndrome clouds it. That's what it is. It's the cloudy day. It's fog, right? Self-doubt is the fog on a road. It makes you second guess. Can I go? Is the road going straight, or is it turning right now? I really can't see clearly, right? And so engagement is the start of taking all that inspiration and motivation to the next level. Especially if you just don't have somebody in your corner right away after those big, moments of
Yeah.
like, aha, the pen and or the pencil or whatever favorite colored marker you like to use, whatever it might be, grab a notebook and write your ideas down. And when you look at the high performing, highly successful multimillionaires in the world, they all engage in some form of writing, to be self-reflective, to gain that clarity, to create that space so that they can free flow their thoughts. Because sometimes creativity comes at the when we're not really trying to force it. So yeah, like, what do we do after? Well,
Yeah.
grab a pen. And you know what they say about tools? I mean, the pen is probably one of the strongest tools if you're a creative. If you're wanting to shift the mindset, it's the tool. And what they say about tools is that they only work if you use them. So keep using your tools, use the pen, get to work, get to, engaging. And by practicing that, you gain confidence. It's amazing.
Wow, that is so, like, you have such a unique approach to it. So tell me a little bit about your consulting business.
So, I consult with multiple, like I have multiple clients. But if you peel it all the way down, I'm really almost like the identity doula. I'm really helping individuals step further into their new identity. I work a lot with therapists who want to launch their private practices. And even though in a private practice, you're still offering therapy, a therapist does that, right? But when you step into business, oh boy, is there so many other roles and responsibilities that a solopreneur is responsible for, and therapists don't have this business training. And so I really help and support that transformation. Yes, like I said, can you go and get your top 5 things that you need to do off of Google around starting a business? Absolutely. You can get all the information for free, but working with a consultant, you get transformation. And so that I'm really supporting that transformation by, yes, giving them a step-by-step framework that has been, tried and tested, and it's proven to get the results that people want. But more importantly, that feedback loop that I was just talking about offering the reality of, no, that's actually really good and really creative. Because when we're doing something new, self-doubt is right on our right shoulder, on our, just sits right there. And really walking people through that transformation so that by the time we're done working, they feel confident about their decision making as a business owner, not only as a therapist, because there are different skill sets. There's difference in what you need to accomplish in as a business owner versus a therapist, even though the skills are somewhat truly, they can kind of bounce back and forth. They're definitely transferable. There's a lot of requirements a therapist might we have to attend to, and the same is true in business. And it's just a matter of offering that bridge to fill that gap. So that's one way of consulting, really helping that therapist stepping into business. I also work with clinical focus where people want to attain a license, and so I'm helping them work their edges and really taking ownership of their identity as being a therapist. So that's more the beginner person in mental health, the beginner professional that's specific to being a therapist. And then the next is really helping people step into private practice. And then I work with organizations with their leadership teams, really looking at their company culture and really more like organizational psychology, and looking at ways to enhance company culture, ensuring that they're getting top-notch candidate for employees or contract work, really looking at that high level and ensuring that the actual organization is holding mental health and wellness as they make decisions around company policies and training and curriculum, how to train their staff to ensure that there's inclusivity and diversity, but not only for people of color or difference in orientation and religion, all of that, but the difference within like the mental health space, like really ensuring that organizations are bringing that diversity piece into their decision making as they create their processes and organize their offices to ensure that those who are coming in are also being attended to with that perspective of like, how is the mental health and wellness being held, and how does it bleed out in the entire organization, from the hierarchy of the org chart all the way to the HR policies, to how they honor and how they honor like holidays and all of that. So I've got the therapist in training, I offer that consultation and supervision. And then those in business, whether they want to just launch it, build it, and scale it. And then organizations, ensuring that mental wellness is held and woven within their already established protocols and systems and whatnot. So yeah, just I'm an advocate for the mental health wellness for individuals, companies. We're all people, and we're a lot more alike than we are different. So that's
Yeah.
my consultation. And I still actually work. I have a small handful of therapy clients just because I love the work, being a therapist and helping individuals really learn to tap into the life force that we all have, which is pretty amazing, actually, if you really think about it. So yeah, it's no matter what bucket you might lie in or fall in, it truly, I work toward empowerment and helping people really unlock their confidence and believe in themselves. They don't need to have all the answers, but they believe that they can find what they're looking for and create a life that's truly worth living for.
So if they wanted to get more information about your consulting or become a client of you, what do they have to do where they can find you?
Yeah, you could go to my website at www.francisca, which is F as in Frank, RANCISCA franciscacc.com. And there's a button throughout the entire website where you can book a discovery call. And we would then get to chat and talk about, what you're looking for and to see how I might offer some support along your journey. So that would be wonderful.
And if you could just give us one last thing of encouragement that you would like to share with our listeners today.
One, that feelings are feelings and they're there to give us information. They necessarily aren't the fullest truth. That's number one. So, how do we feel the feelings? Because that's what makes them feel better. And then two, truly find a tribe to offer and nudge that support and accountability. And again, clarity comes from engagement. So use your tool, the hefty pen, right? Write out your thoughts. Clarity comes from engagement. Competence comes from practice. And then confidence is the sum of both. So those are the tips. Feel your feelings. It'll make them feel better. And they're not the whole truth. Number two, confidence is something that you can intentionally work on. And three, use tools because they only work if you use them.
Well, I know for one, I'm going to be using my tools.
That's awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. It's been a pleasure, and I really enjoy you, and I learned so much from you today.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye bye.